This ticking is the sound that came from Explorer 1, confirming the existence of the Van Allen belts. Two donuts filled with the most special filling, a filling that can rearrange your DNA and give you an unbelievable chance to develop cancer. These are the famed Van Allen belts. I'm not surprised if you haven't heard of them. Science class failed all of us. The belts extend to an approximate altitude of 640 to 58,000 kilometers above the Earth's surface. They are made of trapped charged particles ejected from the sun in the form of the solar wind. Yes, the sun does have wind. These invisible bullets are created by nuclear reaction or super high heat. Due to them being positively or negatively charged, they interact with the magnetic field of the Earth, being attracted to the north and south poles. Some are drawn closer down to the surface, and their reaction with the air creates the northern and southern lights. The others that aren't pulled in create the Van Allen belts. The belts stay inside the inner region of the Earth's magnetosphere, trapping energetic electrons and protons. For those of you who are looking at the screen with a lot of question marks, I'll explain this a little better. A charged particle is a particle with an electric charge. It could be an ion, like a molecule or atom, that has too many or too few electrons. This means it's highly unstable and can easily pass through almost any object. These belts are important for protecting the Earth from the dangers of the universe. This type of charged particle radiation is called ionizing radiation. They have enough energy to remove electrons off atoms or molecules from spacecraft or living things such as crews. In fact, it was reported that beyond the protective layer of the magnetosphere, Apollo astronauts on their way to and from the moon would see flashes of light. It's believed what this was were the high-energy protons and electrons passing through their retina, creating bright flashes of light behind their eyes. Scary. Now, if these belts didn't exist around the Earth, all of that radiation would just be assaulting the planet and wreaking absolute havoc. So, how are they created? The inner and outer belts are created as a result of different phenomena. The inner belt is made mostly of energetic protons, which are created from cosmic ray collisions in the upper atmosphere. There are also particles that originate from the sun and are trapped inside the magnetic field, as I said before. These two groups of particles travel along the magnetic lines of flux. These trapped particles can even change directions. It's actually these charged particles that are responsible for creating the breathtaking aurora of Earth. The outer belts are far more volatile and have less of an impact on the Earth, though they make high orbit satellites extremely dangerous. These belts are mostly made of electrons that are injected from the geomagnetic tail following solar storms. The Earth's magnetic field traps these electrons and are further charged through wave particle interactions. You may be wondering, how did the Apollo astronauts protect themselves from this dangerous radiation? It's actually pretty simple. As the two main types of particles in the belts are high-energy protons and electrons, these protons are easily stopped by light materials and even heat shielding used on spacecraft. Electrons can be blocked by anything that has a high content of hydrogen, such as polyurethane. If you're looking at your screen saying, only lead can protect you from radiation, then what the fuck are you doing here? Why are you here? Why are you here wanting to learn from me? I'm not that smart, and if you're saying that, you're clearly not that smart, so what's going on? How about you let me do the teaching, and you sit there and you listen. Good. Heavy shielding like lead is actually more dangerous if you're trying to protect against high-energy electrons, because of something called the Bremsstrahlung effect. That is, when the electrons interact with large atoms, such as those found in compounds like lead, they actually create harmful X-rays that can cause damage to crews and equipment. There's actually some crazy experiments that took place with the Van Allen belts. Some more crazy than others, such as launching nukes into them just to see what would happen. Fucking humans. Using high voltage orbiting long tether spacecraft to drain the particles and effectively removing the radiation. Now, how this one would work is you'd have a spacecraft with a long piece extending off the back of it that's kind of, well, sending out electricity and collecting the electrons. In theory it would work. I don't know how much it will work in practice. It's also been proposed to remove the magnetic fields around other planets because they have them just the same as we do. Any planet, moon, or whatever in between that has aurora, which there's quite a few in our solar system. I think I'll flash a list up on screen right now of the ones that I'm aware of. What happens is that layer is danger to possible spacecraft or anything else. So the idea of removing it seems pretty smart and forward thinking, but it's also the only thing we have protecting us against the universe. I personally am on the side of let's not get rid of it. But what do I know? Well, that was a quick little science one, wasn't it? I love doing this. Just want to say thank you. Check us out on Twitter. Follow us on Discord. We're not on Facebook. I don't know if we'll ever be on Facebook. Have to see about that one. I don't know how Instagram works. I'm a boomer. Have a good day and stay safe.